Today's episode is brought to you by the Canby Foursquare Church. Since 1978, a place to grow, connect, and serve. Find out more at canbyfoursquare.com or on Sunday mornings at 9 and 11 a.m.
This episode is also brought to you by Odd Moe's Pizza in Canby. Handmade, awesome pizza, as well as craft beer and cider delivered. Call them today at 503-266-8444.
This tax exemption eludes me like a gazelle eludes an arthritic cat.
Why can't Canby people keep track of their dogs? Like, what is...
To do that, you can't be stupid with guns.
Yeah.
That the board is saying they want to make Canby schools great again.
It feels like we've been doing this interview for years.
Inside of me was screaming.
You run for school board, you win or you die.
There's no second place. Welcome to the Canby Now podcast.
We are the best and easiest way to stay connected to what's happening in your hometown. I'm Tyler Franke.
I'm Joyce Struby.
And I'm Tyler Clausen.
The Canby School District has filed for mediation with the Canby Education Association, the union representing its certified teaching staff. After 5 months of bargaining, the two parties continue to disagree over the amount of the cost of living adjustment, or COLA, for the final 2 years of their current 4-year contract and other issues. The request for mediation from the State Employment Relations Board suggests the district bargaining team is not hopeful a resolution can be reached without outside help. We value the hard work of all our certified staff, the Canby School District said in an emailed statement. We appreciate their dedication to the students of our district. We are hopeful that we will reach a tentative agreement soon. The district officials declined to comment further on the confidential negotiations, but several teachers had a lot to say in respectful but passionate remarks about the issue during last week's school board meeting. 3 Canby staff members read an official statement from the CEA saying they were saddened by the district's decision to request mediation. Their statement detailed the many sacrifices Canby teachers had made, to the detriment of their families and careers, in service to the district and its students over the past 10 years, particularly during the worst of the economic downturn. It was during these lean years that teachers accepted 0% cost of living increases for 4 straight years, along with 43 unpaid working days, or furlough days. At the same time, they were asked to implement the new Common Core state standards with minimal training and no funding for new curriculum, as 91 school counselor Colby Shear explained.
This meant hundreds of hours of researching and writing temporary curriculums right when our professional development time had been slashed. And we did it. We did our part, even though the financial losses affected our families and our futures. Finally, in 2015, for the first time in 5 years, our school district was no longer in financial crisis. This was also our first contract negotiation with Superintendent Goodall. Although he was new at Canby, we trusted that our years of sacrifice would factor into the district's initial offer. Clearly it did not. CEA was disheartened when the district's initial proposal was once again.
The district's current offer is a 3% cost of living increase. This would represent the highest increase Canby teachers have seen since 2010. Though they are appreciative of this offer, they feel it still falls short of redressing how much they and their families have given up over the past decade. The union's counteroffer was a 3% increase this year, followed by a 5% bump the following year. According to high school teacher Chris Bangs, who explained he was speaking for himself and not the union, the district has the money.
This meant hundreds of hours of researching and writing temporary curriculums right when our professional development time had been slashed. And we did it. We did our part, even though the financial losses affected our families and our futures. Finally, in 2015, for the first time in 5 years, our school district was no longer in financial crisis. This was also our first contract negotiation with Superintendent Goodall. Although he was new at Canby, we trusted that our years of sacrifice would factor into the district's initial offer. Clearly it did not. CEA was disheartened when the district's initial proposal was once again
91 school second grade teacher Tracy Hall said the two sides are quite close, and she encouraged the district to return to the bargaining table.
When comparing each side's current offer, they are quite close. They're so close, in fact, that there's clearly room for continued negotiation between the two. We are teachers. We love the kids of this community, and we would love to have our full attention back in our classrooms, which is the reason we are eager to amicably settle a fair contract as soon as possible. We need your help to do this. CEA is still at the bargaining table. We hope the Canby School District will rejoin us.
Thank you.
For salary comparison data provided by the CEA, visit our website, cambynowpod.com. Two large Tualatin-based employers are looking to relocate their operations to Canby as the industrial park in southwest Canby continues to develop. Caruso Produce, the smaller of the two, is scheduled to go before the Planning Commission first. Caruso Produce is a third-generation, family-owned company that sources fresh fruits and vegetables from all over the world and distributes them to local stores and vendors. The company grew into one of the region's top wholesalers under President Joe Caruso, whose father and uncles had founded the company in 1945. In 2015, Joe passed the reins to his son, Sam Caruso. According to the documents filed with the City Planning Department, Caruso hopes to build a new 95,000 square foot warehouse and company headquarters on a 10-acre parcel in the Canby Pioneer Industrial Park on Sequoia Parkway, just south of Dragonberry Produce. Primary access will be two 50-foot driveways on Southeast 4th Avenue, a portion of which the developer would be expected to improve to city standards as a condition of the project's approval. The company says they are looking to relocate after outgrowing their current facility in Tualatin. In planning documents, they describe their new home in Canby as, quote, a new state-of-the-art produce distribution facility, containing a combination of cooler storage, conditioned warehouse staging, and loading areas, along with an accessory office space to house 100% of the Caruso operations. The facility would house approximately 70 employees divided between 3 shifts. It is expected to operate 24 hours a day. The project is scheduled to go before the Planning Commission on December 23rd. The second company is Stanton Furniture, an Oregon-based manufacturer of high-quality sofas, sectionals, pull-out couches, chairs, and recliners that come with a lifetime warranty. Though they have not yet filed their final site design review application with the city, pre-app information provided to the Canby Now podcast indicates their plans to construct a 150,000 square foot facility on nearby property that fronts Malino and Southeast Township Road. They hope to relocate the entirety of their operations from Tualatin, along with their approximately 300 employees working day and night shifts. The project is expected to come before planning on January 13th. As Canby Economic Development Director Jamie Stickle explained during last week's City Council meeting, both companies have been working with the city for months now.
Since we are often excluded from other funding sources like regional flexible funds and oftentimes several other state funds as well. So our projects on the list, ours being Canby, so jurisdictional transfers of Maple Street, North and South Redwood, Southeast 13th, Pine, and Locust Street are what we're looking at in terms of jurisdictional transfers. So taking county roads, those county roads over into the city, and that includes 86 ADA ramps. And then the other project that was on the list was Holly Street, so paving the shoulders.
Three people are dead and several hospitalized after a spate of crashes Saturday night in rural Clackamas County. A 2-car collision was reported at approximately 5:25 p.m. on Highway 211 near South Maxburg Road, 2 miles east of Molalla. Oregon State Police, Molalla Fire, and Colton Fire districts responded to the scene, and the road was closed for several hours afterwards. OSP investigators said 64-year-old Malala resident Robert Knowles was driving southbound in a Ford pickup on Highway 211 when he crossed the center line for unknown reasons and struck a Chevy Tahoe driven by Nancy Sowers, a 79-year-old Colton resident. Both drivers sustained fatal injuries and were pronounced dead. A passenger in the Tahoe, Nancy Slocum, 62, also of Colton, was transported to OHSU with severe injuries. Shortly after 7, Colton Fire reported a single vehicle incident on Grimm Road that left the driver and passenger trapped 20 feet down an embankment. Both occupants were recovered and transported to area trauma centers. Clackamas Fire and Canby Fire District assisted with medic units. At approximately 7:25 p.m., first responders were called to a single vehicle crash on Highway 26 near Southeast Weber Road, east of Sandy. OSP said this crash involved a Toyota Camry operated by 29-year-old James Gerard of Rhododendron, which left the highway for unknown reasons and rolled several times. Gerard sustained fatal injuries and was pronounced dead. Eastbound lanes of Highway 26 were closed at the crash scene Saturday night while police investigated. OSP was assisted by Clackamas County Sheriff's Office, Clackamas County Fire, and medics and ODOT. After a 2-7 season, albeit one that ended with positive momentum of a 2-game winning streak, Canby football is mulling a possible move from the top OSAA classification, 6A, down to 5A. The different rankings don't really have anything to do with the quality of play. It's not like minor leagues in baseball, where the higher number of A's mean better and more experienced players. In high school football, the classifications are all about size. 6A schools are the biggest ones, 5A slightly smaller. Canby has been offered the opportunity to move down this season because of our winning percentage has been under 22% for the past 2 seasons. But as coaches and district officials explained at a community forum on Wednesday night, we are actually small enough to qualify for 5A based on enrollment numbers alone. The classifications are determined based on a school's average daily membership, or ADM. This includes raw enrollment numbers adjusted to reflect the percentage of students that qualify for free or reduced lunch. When OSAA reclassified in 2017 and set the 6A threshold at 1,260, Canby's ADM was 1,270. But that number dropped to 1,259 this year and is expected to continue declining. Of course, size isn't everything. Canby's fellow Three River League rivals, Lake Oswego and Lake Ridge, are both smaller than Canby and are perennial playoff contenders. Lake Oswego in particular finished 3rd in state this year and is set to face Jesuit in the semifinals this Friday for a chance at the title. To head coach Jimmy Joyce, the difficulty is not size, but demographics. Declining participation in youth football and the high-powered buzzsaw that is the Three Rivers League. Our league includes not only Lake O and Lake Ridge, but 3 other top 10 teams, Tigard, West Lynn, and Tualatin. Not only are these schools bigger in raw population, they also have much more robust numbers in terms of the numbers of kids who turn out for football. More than 120 for Tigard, West Lynn, Tualatin, and Oregon City, compared to 84 here in Canby. Coach Joyce said it actually became a running joke among Three Rivers League coaches this year that Canby, well, just doesn't really fit in the TRL. We're the only community with only 1 high school, except Oregon City, whose school population is pushing 2,200 kids. Coach Joyce said he was most excited for, if Canby does move down, the opportunity to play against schools that look like us. A move to 6A would be no guarantee of success. 2 other 6A schools who are playing down this season, McKay and Wilson, finished 2-7 and 0-8 respectively. 5A is no cakewalk. But at Wednesday's meeting, the coaches and administration did seem supportive of the opportunity to be more competitive, rebuild the program's numbers. And yes, move out of the Three Rivers League, where we don't really seem to fit. The move would affect only football, no other sports or activities, and Canby would automatically move back to 6A after 2 years if the Cougs won more than 2/3 of their games or a single playoff contest. If the coach does decide to drop classifications, the current 5A leagues would be redrawn, and it's not certain exactly where Canby would land. However, Coach Joyce said it's likely we would be in a league with nearby Wilsonville, which is a perennial powerhouse at 5A. A decision must be made by December 1st.
All right, so I'm here at the Canby Rod and Gun Club. We're not doing any shooting because I didn't want to get embarrassed by a bunch of high school kids here, but I'm here with 3 of the best trap shooters in the state. I've got Brandon Slater, Isabella Berge, and Matt Eubanks. How you guys doing?
Doing all right.
Pretty good.
Awesome, yeah.
Yeah, cool. And you guys, congratulations are in order. You just finished up your fall season and had some great finishes. Brandon, you finished 3rd in the conference and the state. Matt, 2nd.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, and Isabella, of course, 1st in the state and nation. I mean, we might as well just say, right? So let's start with Brandon. How was the season for you? What did you think of how you finished?
It's pretty good. I think I finished all right. It could be better, but overall, it's a pretty good performance.
Yeah, how long have you been trap shooting?
About 5-6 years now.
Okay, cool. Anything that you learned or picked up this season as you grew, or?
Just stay focused. Don't give up.
Okay, cool. Matt, you have been part of the Canby trap shooting team since it first started, right?
Yes, sir.
The past 4 years. So how have you kind of seen it grow? What's kept you with it?
What's kept me with it is that it's something that I like to do. It's definitely something that I'm out here because I want to do it, not because there's anybody else telling me to. How I've seen it grow, it started as just a small little team. I can remember when we were sitting in the meetings. When it first started, we'd come down here and talk about stuff that was going to go on, and it's turned into something that we can definitely see is becoming a program, something that's definitely becoming what you would call an athletic program, something at Canby that we can possibly have a legacy with.
Yeah. Are you starting to see like the community support? We're out here, there's an event happening tonight, there was a award ceremony, it's packed in here. That's got to feel good.
Yeah, definitely. It's definitely good to have support from the community, and definitely good to see that shooting sports are growing nationally.
What do you guys think of this girl here, Isabella?
I think she's a damn good shot.
What about you?
Yeah, she's pretty awesome. She's definitely competition.
Yeah. What about you, Isabella? What do you think of your co-champions here?
Honestly, some of the greatest people I ever shot with. I mean, I've been shooting with Matt for all 4 years, and Brandon 2 years now, 1 year. Yeah, it's been lucky to shoot with them, so really grateful for them.
How was the season for you? Did you have some kind of competition? I know you've been on the show before, and you talk about kind of the difficulty of getting girls involved in this sport. Did you see in the conference in the States some more girls kind of stepping up their game and at least stepping up to try it?
I know that Holly here, actually, we've been working with her, and she's went from shooting 5s to 19s. I didn't pay attention to other female shooters or any shooters relatively.
Right.
I was just
You're
out
doing your
shooting.
own thing.
Yeah, exactly. I think that my shooting could have been better, but like Brandon said, like I'm satisfied with it. Like I had a good time when I was out here with my squad, these 2 guys. Yeah.
And nationals are next? Is that how it works? Or what's next for where we go from here?
So we have the spring season, right?
We'll have a spring season, and then we'll go to state, which is you pay a fee and everybody gets in to shoot, and it's teams from all across the nation, all leagues, or not the nation, sorry, all from across Oregon at state, in all the leagues, and then after that's over, if you qualify, you can go to nationals back in Michigan.
Gotcha. Isabella, you've been there before.
Yep. So is Matt.
And Matt too.
Yes, sir.
Cool.
Brandon has too, definitely.
Yeah.
Awesome. Yeah. Well, so you guys have been before. You kind of got some expectations now. Last year you sort of burst onto the scene, but now you've kind of got a bar to live up to. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
It was definitely easier last year. There was nothing. It was just kind of going out and shooting. But Canby has a name now. You got to uphold it.
Yeah.
Well, thank you guys so much. I know you got some games and some fun stuff to do tonight. So thanks for talking to us. And again, congratulations.
Thank you very much.
True story. When we first started the Canby Now podcast, we were looking to buy some stickers. Just something to help us get our name out there. We didn't have a lot of money, so we tried to do everything as cheaply as possible online. We wound up with 1,000 of these teeny tiny cheap looking stickers. Not exactly the impressive swag we were hoping for, but you know, you get what you pay for.
Yes, you do. If we had been smart, we would have gone to see Carrie at Promotional Strategies. She's a real live human and a creative genius who will deliver practical, strategic ways to promote your business on any budget. If you're looking for high quality swag that you can be proud to see your logo on, Promotional Strategies is where you want to go. Find them at 695 Southeast 1st Avenue in Canby or online at ps266swag.com. Hey, Tyler.
Yeah?
Can you do me a favor? Just real quick. Name all the services that you're subscribed to.
Okay. Netflix, Amazon Prime, Hulu. There's like Google stuff, I think. My wife, I think, does a cat thing, and I'm looking into Dollar Shave Club.
It's starting to get a little ridiculous, right? There's even an app to manage all of your subscriptions now. Of course, it comes with its own monthly convenience fee. It can get a little overwhelming. They've even coined a term for it, subscription fatigue.
If you're being hit with subscription fatigue blues, we have a solution for you, at least when it comes to streaming options. Try Easy Video TV from Direct Link. It offers your favorite shows and movies all in one app on the same bill as your internet service.
Direct Link is a local community-based provider that has your back. Record your favorite shows, watch them anywhere, and access all the major local and cable TV networks with an Easy Video subscription.
Why are we still sitting here? How do I sign up? Let's go!
Well, it's easy. Just call Direct Link at 503-266-8111, visit their office at Juniper and 2nd, or go to directlink.coop to switch to Easy Video TV today. All right, on the Canby Conversation today, I'm at Gwen's Coffee House. I'm sitting here with a couple of guys who have been involved with the Canby Kiwanis Food and Toy Drive for a few years at least, which is coming up here in Canby. We have Bob Hill. Hi, Bob.
Hi.
And what was your name again?
Yes.
Yes. Todd Gary, formerly of Canby Fire District, still kind of
still hanging out
around over there.
Whatever.
But here to talk about the Canby Kiwanis. You have been involved with Kiwanis, you were saying, for just a few years, but obviously Food and Toy Drive through Canby Fire for some time.
Yeah, I've been a member of Kiwanis for 6 years, probably, in there somewhere. But was very active in the food drive for several years.
Mainly for the competition.
Well, mainly for the competition. We used to have a competition with Molalla Fire on who could get the most pounds of food.
Yeah,
so,
that's cool.
Yeah, there was a trophy that went back and forth.
Oh, yeah. I mean, it mostly stayed over here, I would imagine.
It stayed over here quite a few years, and it went there a few years. And and then there was some issues, so we don't do that anymore. So.
Yeah.
But it was a good time.
Cool. And Bob, you said that your parents were involved with Kiwanis for some time. Your mom was actually involved with the starting of the thrift store.
Right, back in the 1950s. And my parents were very active members of the Kiwanis back in the 50s and 60s.
That's awesome. What were their names?
Hill. Larry Hill was my dad, and Alta Hill was my mom.
Cool.
Yeah.
That's great. I didn't realize the thrift store's been around for that long.
Yeah, I think it was 52 they opened, and then it was just 2 days a week, just a few hours a day, and it's moved at several locations over the years.
Okay, I was going to ask if they're the same location.
No, it's moved a whole bunch.
Downtown or something? Or?
Yeah, right on Main Street in an old building. It's moved around a lot. But,
and now they're on Instagram now.
Yeah,
It's funny how things that have been around since the 50s are now on the Instagrams and stuff like that.
Yeah,
that's cool. Okay, well let's talk about Food and Toy Drive. You Todd have been involved for a long time. Bob, how long have you been part of the food drive?
Actually, since I joined Kiwanis in 2010, every year I've been doing something with it. And,
cool. I'm sure most people kind of have some familiarity with it, but let's just talk a little bit about what it is, maybe its history, what it's like to be part of it, because it's such a huge undertaking. I don't know if people realize. Yeah,
a lot of people don't realize that we. The last few years, we've given boxes of food to between 350 and 400 families.
Wow.
We give toys up to about 1,000 or more children.
That's so cool.
And it's quite an undertaking. It takes quite a while to collect all that. And it's a community food and toy drive. It's not just us. The school kids play a big part in collecting food. People contribute money to help us fund this. We have a whole raft of volunteers, including other service clubs like Rotary, that come down and take part in the food sorting and boxing and the toy, putting the toy packages together. So we call it the Canby Community Food and Toy Drive, and just organized by us, basically.
Yeah, not just the name.
Right. And the fire department has played a major role. They help us move food around in the early stages.
And we've been at the fairgrounds the last 3 years, the event center. Before that, we were looking for empty buildings. We'd look around town and we'd see what was empty. Yeah, not big enough. But we need a big area. We used where Rite Aid used to be, which is now Big Five.
Oh, okay.
We used that for a few years. There was an industrial building in the industrial park that was empty. And then we came to a point, and I think I was president.
Yeah, I think so.
We couldn't find any empty buildings. And it was like, oh my gosh, what are we going to do?
Yeah.
We got a hold of the fairgrounds, and it used to take us a long time. We'd stretch it out. It was 2 or 3 weeks, and I went to everybody and said, we're going to do this in a week, guys. And they thought I was crazy.
Yeah.
Absolutely crazy.
Yeah.
And the fairgrounds said we could have that week. And we actually store food over there before that week is.
Yeah, I don't even envision, but all of these donations come in just over this month, basically, like a few weeks' time, and then once you get them, you have to sort them.
It has to be sorted. It has to be put in boxes. The toys have to be sorted. All that. So we take the main pavilion upstairs and downstairs. So we'll move in there after Breakfast with Santa on the 14th, and we'll have it then until the following weekend. So our final deliveries are on the 21st, I believe.
Yeah, 20th and 21st.
20th and 21st. So we take over the building, and they're kind enough to donate that to us.
Oh.
And we use that, and it's actually worked out well. It's our new home.
The fairgrounds is awesome with all the help they provide for this event.
That's great. And one thing, Bob, also the businesses that help. You have something like 60 or something drop-off locations.
Yeah,
right.
The bins, you guys have probably seen them around.
Yeah, you can see our barrels and boxes all over town.
Yeah.
And
that's for food and toys.
Yes, and we'll be taking those donations right up till about the 16th, I think, of December, if I remember the date.
Cool. Yeah. I think that when you talk about like the hundreds or even thousands of kids that have been impacted over the years, like that's just crazy to me. That's gotta, I mean, with all the work that it takes, that's got to be really something that keeps you motivated.
It is, and another great thing about it is it's all local. You see the TV stations advertising for their food and toy drives, and those are basically the Portland area.
Yeah.
Ours is all local. It's all in the Canby School District area, and we're getting the donations from there, and we're handing the things out in that area. So.
And the folks that are served by this, I just am curious about the need of the folks who are impacted by this. So, because I imagine in some cases, these are folks that may not even get a Christmas outside of this, just because of their circumstances.
Right. We have sign-up sheets available when we do that at places like the library and the thrift shop, and people can come in and sign up, and we double check and make sure that our things are going out where they should, and we try and be as open as possible so that people will have a nice Christmas.
Yeah, a little story I have, and it's kind of not to judge people at all. When we were in the Rite Aid, a very nice looking gal walks in, and she got her. I was the one taking it out because we take it out to their car, and I put the stuff in the thing, and she had 3 kids, and I put all her stuff in there, and I took it out to her car, and she's got a beautiful car, beautiful, more than I could probably afford, and I'm going to put the stuff in here, and she starts talking to me, and she goes, this looks really bad.
Yeah.
And I go, nope, I'm not here to judge, and she starts crying. Yeah. And she tells me that, her husband had just left. She goes, I got a very good job, but she goes, I got this car, and I got a house, and I've got 3 kids, and I've got all these things. and I can't afford all these things.
Yeah.
And it was
gonna make me cry, Todd.
And it was during the time of, houses weren't selling and all those things.
Yeah.
And she had all that, and I thought, wow. I said, to me, don't judge anybody. When they come in to get that food, there's a need.
Yeah.
And people aren't signing up just because they're coming to us because there's a need. And I've kept that in my mind every time I haul a box out to somebody or do something or see them walk in. It's just that need.
There's almost and people talk about this a lot, and there's lots of great things that happen here in Canby, but in my experience, it's almost like it's something in the DNA here. Like when people need help, there's just no question, there's no okay, tell me why, let's get some background here. People just jump to it.
Yeah. Yeah, Bob and I, we've both grown up in this community, so it's kind of what we do.
Yeah.
It's just part of it.
And virtually every year you'll get stories like that. Somebody's carrying food out to somebody's car and they break down in tears because they're just happy that they know they're going to have food for the holidays to put a little bit of a celebration in their lives.
Or just toys for their kids.
Yeah.
Those kind of things. It's amazing.
You guys need volunteers?
You bet.
Always.
Yeah.
Always.
We'll be moving the food into the sorting area on the 14th, afternoon the 14th, and we'll be starting right in sorting. We'll be sorting from that Saturday through we usually wrap it up fairly up by Wednesday. Sometimes it's Thursday, and then we hand it out, and we can also use volunteers when we're handing it out on Friday the 20th, and then on Saturday the 21st we need drivers because the people that can't come and pick it up we deliver to on Saturday, and so we always need drivers on that day. Anybody that wants to come down, help sort food, help sort toys, put them into packages during that week, we'd love to have them.
Yeah, one year it was snowing.
Yeah.
And we put a call out, and we got a 4-wheel drive club that came in, and they came in and just, there was 4-wheel drives lined up, and we were loading food into their rigs, and they were hauling it out. It was awesome. It was absolutely awesome.
To get them back every year.
And I think a lot of them have came back. There's not the call, and there hasn't been the need. The Boy Scouts for several years. Our Boy Scout troop that we charter has been one of the big delivery groups. So they come out and they do delivery for us.
Yeah, cool. And how can folks sign up if they want to be part of receiving a box this year? How does that work?
So there's sign-up sheets at the thrift store.
Okay.
The thrift store, we have
library.
The library. Contact any. If you know a Kiwanis member, contact any of our Kiwanis members.
Go on our website.
Our website, exactly.
Yeah. The website, yeah.
CanbyKiwanis.org.
Okay.
We have a Facebook too. If you want to just message somebody on the Facebook, you can do it that way also.
Yeah. If you use the contact thing on our website, then we'll see it and we'll get back to people.
And you just get their names and tell them when to come, or
and how many are in their family, their age of their kids, all that stuff.
So you sort of hand-pick boxes for them? Is that how it works?
Oh, absolutely. Well, the food boxes are pretty much the same. Okay. All the food boxes are the same, but the toys are definitely. We have to know the age and gender of the children, and the gals upstairs do an amazing job.
That's so cool.
And they put everything in a black. Like a garbage bag. Yeah. Everything's put in there. It's not wrapped, but it's put in there by age. Yeah. And it's all, we take the bags to them, and they hand them the bag, and
So it's kids. I mean, and it's kids, whatever. But the toys is what it's all about. Yeah. Right. And you can just imagine like a little boy coming out with a Barbie doll or something. How heartbreaking that would be.
Yeah.
For them,
and one of the things we're short on a lot of years is we talk about kids, and we talk about kids all the way to 16 to 17-year-old kids. Okay. And everybody likes to buy toys for little kids.
So they just want a car.
Little kids, But everybody wants the toys and stuff for the little kids. But what do you give to the older kids? And we get makeup sometimes. We get other things that an older
made, like a hoodie or something.
Stuff that older kids would like. Yeah. And those are the things we're always short on.
Yeah.
So a lot of times we'll go out and purchase stuff to fit those needs. Cool. But that's just something that people can remember, that there are the older kids also.
And when it comes to the food, we go out every year and buy hams. So each box gets a ham, peanut butter, rice, and cereal boxes. So we buy the things that might not be donated some.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
So the boxes are not just like for one meal. It sounds like. They're
Oh,
sort
no.
of like a week's worth of food or something like
Right.
that.
Oh, yeah.
Right. Yeah.
Cool. I do want to just ask before we go a little bit more about the giveaway, because I know my co-host on the podcast, Tyler Clausen, he went out last year, and I just remember he was very moved and very impacted by it. Thought it was just, I mean, you hear about it, you hear the numbers, like, you know, everyone thinks that's a cool thing, but when you actually see it, it seems to be a very impacting thing for people.
Yeah. So on the 20th, starting at noon.
Yes,
11 noon.
Yeah.
People start coming in. They get checked in. We figure out who they are. They have a number because that's the number on the toys upstairs. It's in the bag. They get their toys. We put a box of food on our cart and we take it out to their car for them. So all day long. We do that until 5 or 6 o'clock in the evening.
Yep.
And then the ones that aren't picked up, we go out and take them out on the next day. We deliver them.
So, yeah, we love to have volunteers on that day to somebody that can lift a box of food from a cart into a car.
Yeah. So and then there's those the day that does that. But then on Saturday, if you got a little while on Saturday, and even if you can't physically drive out, we can definitely help. We got boxes to break down. We got cleanup to do. And there's a lot of stuff that happens on that Saturday.
And we start early on that Saturday. We start about 7 a.m. So.
You guys wear Santa hats? For some reason I can just imagine Todd in a
Some of us do,
Some
of us do.
Yeah, okay. That's I mean,
you got to cover this up somehow. It gets cold out there.
And on Friday, when the people come in to pick up their food, we actually have a Santa on site usually, who can talk to the kids.
Not us, Santa.
Santa sitting there, sitting by our Christmas tree, and yes.
And there's cookies and those things on the days for people to, have some cookies and hot cocoa or whatever that day.
Well, don't feel bad about the hair, Todd. I think I'm going to be there with you pretty soon.
You're catching up.
Cool. All right. Anything else to add before we go, guys?
I don't think so. Kiwanis is an awesome club.
Yeah.
And one of our things is helping the children of the world. We're all about kids. And everything we do is about kids. We're really passionate about that. We meet once a week. We meet on Monday. We're always looking for new members. It's a great club. It's a great group to be in. I've been very impressed with everybody.
It hasn't gone downhill ever since Tony Crawford went off on an Egypt adventure.
No, we still have Betty.
Okay. She's the brains behind it.
We got the better half of that group.
All right. Thank you guys so much. Thanks for all that you and all the Kiwanis members, Kiwanians, do for our community.
Absolutely.
I'm here at Advantage Mortgage with Derek Hill. And Derek, you were telling me about something that just came down from Fannie Mae that people might be interested in.
Yeah, Fannie Mae just came out with a report that said that the average homeowner in the United States has approximately 70% equity in their home.
Oh, wow.
Right. I mean, that's obviously average throughout the whole country, but because values have come up so substantially in the last 10 years, there is a ton of equity available that people can utilize.
Cool. So if people are potentially looking to buy or move into a new home, you're saying that equity means it might be something that you would look at remodeling instead of maybe if the market's not looking favorable to you.
Right, 100%. Because the market in Portland is so tough to buy, we have an average of 2.5 months worth of inventory, so it's just super hard for people to find what they're looking for. It may be just easier for them to take out some equity and do the upgrades or do an addition or pay off some debt or lots of different things. And that's one of the things that we love to do with people is sit down with them and kind of go over a game plan.
Cool.
That's one of the biggest things is knowing what you can do, and we love taking the time to do that for people.
Awesome. And people can find you on your website or just give you a call?
They can go to findtheadvantage.com or call 266-5800, obviously 503 area code. And we love to chit-chat, and we have, 8 or 9 different loan officers here in the Canby office that would love to sit down with somebody and work with them.
Cool. Thanks, Derek.
So just remember, Derek Hill, NMLS number 50183, Advantage Mortgage, NMLS number 177059, equal housing opportunity. Thank you. You can probably take the thank you out.
Yeah.
Her mom thought it was the flu. Less than a week later, doctors told her that without an immediate liver transplant, her daughter would die. This nightmare became a reality this month for the McCoy family in Canby. Their daughter Eva, a 5th grader at Knight Elementary School, underwent the emergency procedure on November 16th. Today, she continues her recovery at the Seattle Children's Hospital. We recently spoke with her mother, Rauline, by phone, and she told us more about the unimaginable ordeal that they are enduring.
So tell us a little bit about Eva's story and what's going on. She just recently underwent a liver transplant.
Yeah, an emergency liver transplant for acute liver failure. It started out with a flu virus, what we thought was a flu virus, although she tested negative for the flu later, subsequently. And she got what I thought was dehydration because I saw a little delirium. Yeah. And I took her to the urgent care there in Canby. And
that
they
just
gave
happened
her
a few weeks ago. That was November 9th, I think.
So she fell ill November, I'm not quite sure when she fell ill, but it was last Thursday, the 14th, when we went to the urgent care.
Okay.
Yeah, and so she was sick for a few days prior to that. And then we went to the urgent care. They gave her an IV, and she woke up a little out of her lethargy into a very combative, belligerent state where she was just completely outside of her. She was no longer herself. And I said, okay, we're going to the emergency department at St. Vincent's.
That's got to be so scary as a mom, yeah?
It was pretty scary, but yet also at the same time just doing my best to hold it all together, in that moment.
Sure.
I don't even think I allowed myself to truly feel the fear until later. So we got to the emergency department at St. Vincent's, where they were really fantastic. The nurse that came out to the waiting room to get us saw the urgency of the situation immediately, took her back into the room, and within just seconds, there were doctors and nurses and RT and IV specialists in there just doing everything they could to start testing for everything. And then shortly thereafter, we ended up in the PICU at St. Vincent's, where her lab numbers finally came back with so elevated that they diagnosed it as acute liver failure and called the transplant team here at Seattle. And they said, get her on a plane immediately and bring her up here. And so by 10 o'clock Thursday evening, we were in Seattle.
Gosh. Wow. So, I mean, because she was in critical danger.
Critical danger. When we got here, she began just shutting down more and more and more, and all of her systems were then at risk. Kidneys, heart, lungs. Was by Friday morning they had her on a ventilator. And
I read somewhere that there's something like 30. There was a team of like 30 doctors that came in to work on her.
Oh yeah, and I think even more by now. I mean, we've seen every department has at least 5, and they, and every department in the hospital, neurology, infectious disease, all of them are. Yeah, they're all on her team basically. Yeah, she sees multiple doctors every day.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah,
poor little Eva.
Yeah, and then by Friday afternoon, they came to me and said her liver is no longer her body's no longer going to support this liver, and we're going to put her on the transplant list. She'll be the first in the country to receive a transplant. And they originally said 2 to 7 days, which was worrisome because during that time her body could continue to shut down.
Yeah.
And within just a few hours, by 9:30 Friday night, we had a liver.
Oh my gosh.
And Saturday morning, she went into surgery.
Whew. Wow. I mean, that's unbelievable. Obviously, a huge answer to prayer for that to come about so quickly. But still, I mean, there's so much that's really scary about that.
It's a whirlwind, and it's a lot to adjust to. It'll be a lot for Eva to adjust to. I have no idea when her last memory was. I don't know if it was in bed sick or if it was going to the urgent care. And she's, although awake now, she's in a state of what they call ICU delirium, where she's just kind of in and out, very loopy, not sure where she is, keeps asking me that, very scared. She appears to have signs of trauma, and it will take her some time to adjust to the story because of how fast it is. It's like such a whirlwind.
Oh, sure. Yeah, absolutely. She's, what, 10 years old?
10 years old.
Oh my gosh, yeah. So, for a little while after the surgery, she was in a medically induced coma. Yeah.
Yeah. So Friday morning, when they put her on the ventilator, they put her into a medically induced coma because she had severe swelling in her brain, and severe swelling in the brain can cause strokes and brain damage. And so they needed to slow down her entire body so that her brain did not have to do any work. And so, yes, they put her into this medically induced coma, and it's what was necessary at the time. It's not something they do lightly.
Yeah. Oh, of course. Yeah. Yeah. Especially on someone that young.
Yeah.
So I understand, like, this, like, don't really know what caused this liver failure. It's incredibly rare. It's like 4 or 5 kids in the country.
Yeah.
Each year.
That's right.
Is that right?
That's correct. Yeah. 4 or 5 kids a year in the whole country have this acute of a situation, and the mystery that goes with it. So they're still doing several tests, testing for different viruses, that sort of thing. They're still doing pathology on the old liver, hoping to find some answers. But everything I'm hearing come back is we may not ever know. We just might not ever know.
Wow. I mean, thank God for a donor coming through so quickly, and thank God for wonderful doctors that are able to do this kind of work. Can you tell us just a little bit about your daughter, Rauline? I understand, obviously, she, like I said, she's a 5th grader. I think that she's involved in dance.
No, she does Aikido.
Oh, okay.
And she swims, very outdoorsy, loves to play outside with her friends. She's an extreme extrovert. So I think that's her number one favorite activity of all time, is being with people. And she's spunky, and she's sassy, and she's large and in charge.
Yeah, I've never met her, but I've seen some pictures that have been posted on Facebook from the GoFundMes and things, and I can see some of that spunk and some of that sass for sure, even coming through in the photos. So
she's got very, very, very big emotions, and so when she's happy, she lights up the whole place. And when she's unhappy, everybody knows that too.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, that's so cool. So happy to hear that. Hopefully it seems like things are on the upswing. I'm sure she's got a long road to recovery ahead of her. There are some opportunities for folks to help you guys financially, because there's a lot of expenses that you are incurring that aren't covered by insurance. I understand, like, thousands of dollars worth that have already come down the pipe.
Yeah, that's true. We're of course doing our best to try and appeal with the insurance company and all those sorts of things. But this is just the beginning of a really long journey for us. It's quite possible that every year we will end up having to deal with our insurance deductible, just because her health costs, her medical costs for the next couple of years will be a lot. We have to stay here in Seattle for anywhere from 6 weeks to 3 months. So we have to get residency here in Seattle. Of course, that's time off work for me, and dual residency, and we have to be here to go to clinic 3 times a week after she's released from the hospital. And then after we come home, we still have to drive up to Seattle twice a month for the rest of the year, and then every year for the rest of her life she has to return to Seattle for medical treatment and checkups and that sort of thing.
So you're going to be up there for the next 3 months?
Potentially 6 weeks to 3 months. Yeah. And there's also she has to be very, very careful of viruses. From this point on, she's on immunosuppressant drugs so that her body doesn't reject the liver, which also means that makes her susceptible to every single bug. And every single bug might be a trip to the ER, because we have to be sure that her body is not rejecting the liver. That is an ongoing concern for the rest of her life, is rejection of the liver. So the rest of her life will be medical expenses. And so, we have this acute situation where with insurance that we're hoping to, like I said, do some appeals with the insurance company and get some sort of financial assistance and whatnot with the hospital. But the GoFundMe page that was set up by a friend of mine will really help her with all the costs that she will have going forward for the rest of her life.
Yeah.
As well.
Well, the one that we saw, it was over $20,000.
Yeah.
Which is unbelievable to see the community. I mean, it's got to be heartwarming with all that you're dealing with to see the community really want to support your daughter in whatever way that they can.
Oh my goodness, so much. We have had so much support from the community of Canby in general. I feel Canby with us. The teachers and the principal of our school have reached out to us. They have reached out to my sister's school, her sister's school, to make sure they knew what was going on with our family. All of the well wishes that we get through Carrying a Bridge website and also GoFundMe really helps to strengthen us, quite honestly, every day. I know people may not feel like they're doing a lot, but it is a lot. It's really... It gives me strength to know that there's so many people praying for us and standing beside us. And additionally, we have our church community also has just been wonderful. And not only reaching out to us, but helping my husband, who's has to stay at home really a good portion of the time because we have an older daughter that needs to go to school and maintain life. And so people are really reaching out to them as well. And so we've had a lot of support, and it's been wonderful.
That's awesome. One thing that I kind of say a lot, and that I've learned through doing this podcast and covering different stories like this, is just don't mess with Canby. Like Canby, and that includes like illness and disease. Canby comes together.
They do.
And that's something that's so special about this community.
No doubt, they have rallied for sure around us, and it's been fantastic.
Awesome. Well, we will definitely continue to keep you in our thoughts and prayers. And if there's anything else that we can do through our podcast or through the work that we do here, we would love to just keep people informed about your incredibly brave and amazing daughter.
Yeah.
And you and your family and supporters as well, for sure.
Great. Well, thank you so much. I really appreciate it. We just ask that everybody go ahead and put that Caring Bridge website so that people know the story. That helps me from having to retell the story so many times. So that really helps get that out on your Facebooks, wherever you want to post it. Same with the GoFundMe. Just go ahead and spread the word so that everybody is praying. I can't say enough how much I appreciate everyone's prayers. So thank you.
All right. Thank you, Rauline. Hope you are able to get some rest and hope things continue to go really well with Eva.
Great. Thanks so much.
Well, it's almost December, and there's going to be a new way to ring in the holidays this year. Coming up this Sunday is an event at Canby Foursquare Church that is looking really cool and really fun. And joining us on the line now is Renee Fuerst to tell us all about it. Hi, Renee.
Hey.
How are you?
Great. How are you doing?
I'm doing great. Thanks so much for asking. So what's happening at the church?
Well, we're really excited. We're doing a new community event at the church. It's going to have a little bit of everything for everybody. So we have crafts and cookie decorating, lots of carnival type games with prizes and lots of candy. We will be doing a Christmas lighting ceremony and have a giant cocoa bar. So it's going to be a lot of fun, I think.
Cool. And I understand there might be a tiny bit of music as well.
We will have some music. We've got some carolers.
Isn't that what it's all about? So this is called the Jingle Jam. I was under the impression, Renee, that there's going to be tons of Christmas music, which I love Christmas music. So if that's not happening, I don't know if I can make it.
There will be a ton. We have a lot of different trios and quartets and some choirs that are going to come. And
I believe you are going to be headlining, right, Renee?
Of course.
Okay, good.
That goes without saying.
Cool. There's going to be the Pitch Pipers. I think the Cantalinas were going to make an appearance, which are always phenomenal. So very, very cool. Where did the idea come from to do this? You mentioned this is a new thing that you guys are doing for the first time this year.
Originally we have done a harvest party in the past around Halloween.
Yeah.
And we thought, wouldn't it be really cool to do something around Christmas? Because a lot of churches now do a harvest party. And so then we started kind of pinging it back and forth, like what would we do and what would it look like? And, what would be fun for families? Because, during Christmas it's so busy and oftentimes it's like an adult party that the kids can't come to. So we thought it would be really super fun to have an event where families can hang out together and do fun things. They can, sit if they need to sit. They can be active if they want to be active, but do stuff together for the holidays.
So I'm coming with my kids, and I can tell you they're going to be active. So
that's great. I love active kids.
When we came to the harvest party last year, and I think that's where I ended up meeting like most of the Foursquare staff, just because they all got pulled into basically by my kids, into basically a huge wrestling match, or maybe it was tag. I was never quite clear on what was going on, but a lot of people were.
Wrestling tag?
Yeah, it might have been wrestling tag. Is that a thing you guys do?
That works, yeah. If not, we should invent it.
You should, yeah. Maybe at the Jingle Jam, so.
That'd be awesome.
Cool. I think it's great. It's kind of weird, that Christmas came out of a church holiday, but it does seem like some of the churchy, or some of the Christmassy stuff, I should say, churches sort of distance themselves about. And I get it. I get that there's commercial aspects, and there's even some, pagan things possibly that have crept into the holidays over the years that churches are trying to, reaffirm the actual meaning of the holiday and whatnot. But the fact is, a lot of people associate that stuff with Christmas, and a lot of it is just harmless fun,
Right.
And people are going to be doing it anyway. Why not? Many people in your churches are going to be doing it anyway. Why not do it in church and just have fun together? So I think it's cool.
Right. And honestly, I think you can have fun at a church. I think Jesus probably had a sense of humor, and I think he was probably a fun guy to hang around.
Yeah. If he didn't have a sense of humor, I'm in big trouble.
Me too.
Yeah.
Me too.
Yeah.
So I think it's good to provide a space for families. So if you have a 3-year-old and a 12-year-old, there is something for them to do. And
cool.
Something that they look forward to and that they find fun. They're not, rolling their eyes and wanting to go on to the next thing. So I think there'll be a lot of great things for everybody.
Yeah. I often feel that God has a sense of humor when I look in the mirror every morning and see what I look like. So this is going to be at Canby Foursquare Church, obviously,
yes.
This Sunday, December 1st, from 5 to 7. Did I get all that right?
That is right. And we'll do the tree lighting at 6:30. So we'll have all of the events open from 5 to 6:30. So if you have a crafter and they want to spend the whole hour and a half in the craft room, they can. And then we'll gather everybody at 6:30 for the tree lighting, and we'll do some caroling and kind of wrap up the night all together.
Love it. Can't wait. The tree lighting is going to be indoors or outdoors?
It will be outdoors,
cool.
But we do have a rain contingency just in case.
Okay.
But the tree will be outside, yeah.
Awesome. Well, that sounds really great. Thanks so much for telling us about it, Renee. Anything to add before we go?
I hope everyone can come. It's going to be a great night.
Cool.
It's a way to kick off the Christmas season for sure as a family.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, it's great. And thank you guys so much for hosting it.
Well, thank you. Thanks for letting me talk about it.
No problem. That's basically all we can do, so. Hey Tyler, did you know that the world has changed in the past 20 years?
No way!
Yep, it's true. The way people shop for goods and services has completely changed since this thing called the internet started catching on.
Yeah, I've heard of it.
And yet some realtors still offer the same old services in the same old ways and for the same old percentages. Victory Point Property Group in Canby believes it's time the real estate business caught up with the times. They'll meet with you for free, explain every step of the process, give you a clear game plan, and even let you choose the listing commission.
Really? They let you choose their commission?
Really, Victory Point Property Group understands this is one of the biggest and most exciting decisions of your life, and they'll do everything they can to make sure you handle it like a rock star.
Wow, that sounds great. I'm going to check them out by calling 503-263-4700 or by visiting online at victorypointhomes.com.
You do that. Victory Point Property Group, real estate reimagined.
The great outdoors. Sometimes you just gotta get away to a place where life is simpler. The air is clean and the nearest ringing phone is about a million miles away. One of the best places that we found is My Cowboy Cabin near Joseph, Oregon, in the heart of the Eagle Cap Wilderness.
Eagle Cap is the largest unspoiled wilderness area in Oregon, with breathtaking views of granite mountains and crystal clear lakes, and more than 500 miles of trails to explore. It's one of the premier hiking, fishing, and hunting destinations in the Pacific Northwest. My Cowboy Cabin is open from Memorial Day weekend through Labor Day weekend and can be reserved on a weekly or monthly basis, depending on availability. With a cabin that sleeps up to 8 people,
and also a teepee that sleeps 8 or more.
That's right. It's perfect for family vacations, retreats, reunions, and more. Find out more at mycowboycabin.com.
The Canby Now podcast is a production of Now Hear This Studios, Canby's locally owned full-service audio, video, and media production company. Our mission is to produce the best content in the universe, and we'd love to help you do it. Find us online at nhtstudios.com.
The Canby Now podcast is dedicated to preserving independent local journalism and redefining local news with our fun, fresh, and energetic brand of storytelling. Our sincere thanks to our local sponsors who make this show possible. Please show your appreciation by supporting the small businesses who support us.
Huge thank you as well to our supporters on Patreon. We rely on your monthly contributions to continue to do this work that we seriously love. For information on how you can become one of the coolest people in the world, a patron of the Canby Now podcast, visit cambynowpod.com/plus.